All right, people, what the hell is going on? I am sitting here with an itch to talk about Life is Strange. I just got through watching um, a playthrough of Life is Strange, the first one, and not too long ago I watched a playthrough of Life is Strange 2. I've seen all of them and Double Exposure. And I was right in the middle of watching what's that? Before the Storm. Before I had to just cut. I had to cut it off. I had to cut it off. Um, I'm, you know, I ain't gonna. I'm not saying that these games are bad. And my gripe, actually, if I got any gripes with the games, as far as complaints or whatever, it will be with the first game and Double Exposure. Everything in the middle, except for Before the Storm, is okay. You know what I'm saying? Everything for all that shit is okay. Now, I didn't get any attachment to Double Exposure. I've seen two playthroughs of Double Exposure, and that game just does not resonate with me at all. The first one, I've seen plenty of playthroughs of that, and right off the top, this is how I feel about the first Life is Strange. The first Life is Strange is like, okay, I've seen plenty of playthroughs because physically I can't play those games myself with my vision. I can't read text on the screen. I can see characters and all that shit just fine, but I can't read text on the screen. So choice-based games like that, all of them, Walking Dead, the David Cage games, all that shit, I can't play those games. I have to watch them. So I know all the shit that happens in the Life is Strange, the first one. It's to the point now where, when I watch those playthroughs, when I've seen as many playthroughs as I've had, a lot of them, I'm not watching the game itself. I'm watching the content creator. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching the content creator play the game. That's so if I go into watching one of those let's plays and the content creator is boring, I can't watch it. If I'm watching it and the content creator is engaged in the game and they got insights on the game as they're playing it, I can go along with that. So, I get their reactions to shit that I'm waiting for. Because it's basically you just waiting for certain reactions to shit that happens in the game. Everything in between is a lull. And then you waiting to see which decisions they make on the pivotal parts in the game. That's what you're waiting on. And then, but in that case, the content creator had, sometimes they put too much of themselves in the game. And that ruins it a lot of times, because I'm gonna tell you right now, especially with Life is Strange, it shouldn't be this way. It really shouldn't. It shouldn't be this way. But I've really I either stop out. I will actively dislike a real person from the shit that they do in video games on the Let's Plays. You know what I'm saying? That won't make sense to y'all. But I will actively dislike that person for real. I won't watch nothing else they do. You know what I'm saying? If they shit pop up on my YouTube, I will hit not interested. So nothing else they do will pop up on my goddamn news, on my feed, on my shit, depending on what it is, and their take on shit. Because they put so much shit in these games, it's just like but it's to the point now when it comes to Life is Strange 1. Okay, we got a Let's Play of Life is Strange. I'll go to the last fucking episode, scroll that bar all the way to the end, and see your choice. Because it really doesn't matter at a certain point in Life is Strange. It's only two choices you can make at the end of that game. It's not Detroit Becomes Human. I've seen so many Let's Plays of Detroit Become Human to where I've seen a different goddamn ending so many goddamn times. I ain't even know that shit fucking happened. But yeah, Life is Strange ain't like that. It's you two choices, Chloe or Arcadia Bay. If I go all the way to the end. I go to that last episode all the way to the end. If you choose to save Chloe, I'm gonna watch the Let's Play. I'm gonna watch it. I will not watch the Let's Play. I'll be like, okay, I'll close that shit out and I'll go find something else on YouTube to watch. I'm gonna watch it. Because if you chose that at the end of that game, that mean more than likely all your choices and your attitude throughout that game wouldn't do nothing but piss me off. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't do nothing but piss me off. For me just trying to watch a Let's Play and enjoy it, it just would. Because on top of everything, I am not a Chloe fan. And I vaguely remember shooting a video like this before. But I'm not finna go look through all my videos and see if I actually had or not. I am not a Chloe fan. Not one bit. Now, I am also aware that when you have characters like that in games, they're written like that on purpose. They are written like that to get that reaction out of you. So, you know, I am not oblivious to that. I know Chloe is extremely aggravating on purpose from the developers. That's how you supposed to feel. And I'm watching Let's Plays of this shit where people are so goddamn clean, goddamn Team Chloe, to where I'm just like, you just gonna ignore everything this bitch is doing, everything she's saying. She don't start redeeming herself till well past halfway in the goddamn story. And even past that, they show some glimpses of her old self, which is kind of hard to put together. And Life is Strange, because you have to realize that how Max's powers work, that, you know, when she moves back and forth and shit, it's always, it's different people. You know what I'm saying? It's different people. She's going from timeline to timeline. When you actually pay attention to the story, she's going timeline to timeline. At the end, you kind of get a glimpse of it, to where, you know, certain shit, she'll go through shit, but when she goes into another timeline, she inhabits the Max of that timeline. From that point, she transfers over. And everybody else is of that timeline won't have any knowledge of anything she had before then. So everything could be fucking different. You know, it can get goddamn confusing because it's got time travel and it's got that timeline multiverse shit in it too. And it's just like, But Chloe don't start to fix herself until towards the end of the story. You know what I'm saying? And that's where they try to dig into you. Okay, you see her go through this redemption to where she's not as irritating as she was at the beginning of the game. And then at the end of the game, you see her come to terms with what the fuck is going on. She was like, okay, well, it seems that all this shit is happening because of me. You know what I'm saying? All this shit is happening because of me. You saved me. And shit just started going all kind of tipsy-topsy all over the place since then. With the snow and the eclipse and the 2 moons and whatever the fuck else done happened since then. You know what I'm saying? And you go through the whole game, and then you be like, I'm with Chloe. I can't go without Chloe. I can't go without Chloe. I'm gonna sacrifice. I'm gonna kill a whole bunch of people in the town to save this one person. And you know what? You make it's your game. You can make whatever fucking choices you want. But I won't like you as a person if you make that choice. I just won't. As your initial choice, I can see if you want to know the other ending and whatnot. That's why all the endings in these games are 50-50. That's another thing that gets me when I watch a bunch of these games. They give you these stats after the fucking after your chapters and episodes and shit like that. They give you all these stats and shit. Everybody like, oh man, half of the people did this. Half of the people, no, half of the people didn't do that. All those are the initial players. You know what I'm saying? It gets me that you play video games for a living and you and you playing a game that's fucking 10, 15 goddamn years old and you reading those stats like they came out fucking yesterday and the game just came out yesterday. No, everybody that played the game multiple times and got all the endings. That's why everything you look at is at least 60-40, if not 50-50. And everybody looks at that. Very few people look at that shit and be like, well, you know, people got multiple playthroughs and then chose both endings and all kind of, they done went through and played again and made all the opposite choices and shit and blah, blah, blah. Most people look at that shit like it's fresh, like, oh man, half of y'all did that. Oh. I'm like, you fucking moron. And that happens on a lot of Let's Play. I mean, I really start to dislike a lot of Let's Players from the shit that they do on their goddamn screen, on their Let's Plays. This last Let's Play out that I just turned off that I wanted to watch. Now, I might watch Life is Strange 2 from this person, but I can't watch Before the Storm with this person. I can't. She's Team Chloe. You know what I'm saying? She's Team Chloe, and you get a bit of her personality in watching her play this game to where I don't know what's the opposite of a male chauvinist is, but that's what she is. So she had the common sense to know that at the end of the game, yeah, the whole point of the game was to sacrifice Chloe at the end. So she was adult enough to figure that shit out. But all her choices up until then, because she didn't want to choose that, which is understandable. You know what I'm saying? But when you just think about it, it's how it's supposed to be. You know, it's just how it is. But that particular person, I don't know what the opposite of a male chauvinist is, but she is I don't know what the hell you call it, because she had a woman boner for fucking over every dude in the game, even though that game kind of frames all these different people. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Nathan, of course, he's suspect. You know, she had a hard on for fucking over goddamn Jefferson. She was like, I don't like Jefferson. At a point in the game way at the beginning where you have no goddamn clue at all. You know what I'm saying? No goddamn clue at all of what Jefferson was, or whatever the fuck. You have no reason to have any doubts about this dude at all at the beginning of the game. You don't. I'm sorry. It's written in the game. You don't. He's straight until he's not. You know what I'm saying? She even had it out for poor Warren. Not that she was accusing him or anything, but she just didn't like Warren. You know, whatever. But she didn't like Warren. It's just, ugh. I'm like, why you on Warren like that? Warren ain't did nothing to you. He's one of the few people in this game on your goddamn side, stupid bitch. What's wrong with you? She had it out for David, which is okay, fine. David was written like that, so you would understand it. But she had a super hard on for fucking over David for no goddamn reason at all, and even beyond the plot of the fucking game, which is goddamn ridiculous. Where you have it out for a character beyond the scope of the goddamn game, to where even when you're not playing in that section of the game, you still going on about that shit. She would like when David backhand slapped Chloe, and she never let that go. She was talking about that shit when she started playing goddamn Before the Storm. She was still talking about that. And I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that's just like, you gotta God damn it. You gotta chill the fuck out. You know, you playing the game. And it's one of these things like, if I can't play games like I can play games like that, but certain shit you need to keep to your goddamn self. Because this particular person is playing with chat, and then you got people in chat co-signing with her, whatever. So she gonna keep running her goddamn mouth on shit. That's usually when shit like that happens, when they got a chat. So they already got their yes men in the fucking chat, and they gonna be gassing her up and all the kind of shit like that. Just like whatever. A lot of these folks, these young folks. I'm fucking 50 years old, man, and a lot of these people that I watch play their games are in their fucking 20s, and it's a whole different goddamn culture. But she was on that shit for way too goddamn long, to where it was ruining the rest of the game, where she's still talking about that. And we're in a whole section of the other game with a whole other bushel of problems to take care of. She's still on that. He hit Chloe. He hit Chloe. You talking to somebody else. But David hit Chloe. Well, that ain't got shit to do with what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you pay attention, you know what I'm saying? Because if you get hit by somebody, and I don't give a damn how you feel about this. Usually, if you get hit by somebody, and I'm not talking about dealing with like some just abusive ass motherfucker, and I know people that go through that. Well, I don't personally know anybody that's been through that, but I've watched enough goddamn media to, people go through that where you done hitch yourself to just a straight up bully. Okay, that's different. This is somebody that just smacked the fuck out of you because you had it coming. You know what I'm saying? And people are like, you don't hit. Nah. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Whether it's right or wrong or not, yeah, you don't go off and just hit people, but that don't mean that they didn't have it coming. Just because you say it's wrong, don't mean they didn't have it coming. And Chloe getting smacked in the goddamn face had it coming. You know what I'm saying? And you know what solidifies that? If you fucking watch Before the Storm. If you watch Before the Storm, even up to the point where I am now, where they just now, Chloe and David just started talking to each other for about 5 minutes. She got it coming already. They just started talking. Right when she was getting ready to, when her mom told her that David was gonna take her to school and all this other shit. Yeah, it's just like, that little interaction right there is just like, yeah, eventually you gonna get smacked. And it's gonna be a reaction. It's not gonna be some shit to when he was like, I'm gonna beat this bitch ass. No, it's gonna be a reaction where you done pile up on somebody for so goddamn long, where you say some shit and he just go whap. That's fucking Chloe. But the women that play this game ain't gonna see that shit. The men that play this game ain't gonna condone it, because you really shouldn't condone it. But they gonna be like, oh shit, you aren't supposed to do that. You don't hit no goddamn blah 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 blah. Yeah, you got a whole bunch of people in your goddamn in your chat and in your comments and shit that pay your goddamn bills. So yeah, you gonna keep shit clean. I don't. And I'm gonna say, motherfuckers have shit coming. You know what? I scroll up and down X videos. X videos ain't like shit on fucking Facebook and Instagram. I'm sorry. You scroll down X videos, formerly known as Twitter. You scroll down, you'll see a whole bunch of shit that you don't need to see. All right, that's just a warning right there, because you will see people get shot, people dying, people. You will see all that kind of. You might see a little porn or whatever. You'll see a lot of that shit on there. But one of my most gratifying things on there is watching people get their ass whooped when they had it coming. That goes for men and women. And it's a lot of it on there where you see a woman just up on a dude like this. A dude is just sitting there, just in his space. And the woman is like, up on him. And then she get hit. You all in this dude's space doing that shit. Now, if a dude do that to you, that's a fucking brawl. If a woman keep contacting you and getting in your space like that, and then when they do get hit, it's not even a fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, pop, and then the bitch be on the ground like, you know what I'm saying? She laying on the ground. Either they sleep or they laying on the ground embarrassed like fuck, not moving and shit. Like, that was my favorite videos to watch. That was my favorite. And that goes, like I said, that goes for dudes too. Dudes go up, like I said, I watched this one video of this dude was fucking with this gay guy. This dude was fucking with this gay guy, and you can hear the gay guy, and you could tell he gay just from how he talking. And the dude was just fucking with him. And the gay dude put his ass on the ground. He did a thing where he put his leg behind his leg and was like, wham! Slammed his ass on the ground. He laying on the ground like, ah. And he got up a little bit later after everybody was pushing the gay guy back, trying to keep him from fighting. The other dude went and took his shirt off, came over there again, and the gay dude was like pushing the little girls off of him, like, no, this motherfucker. and this motherfucker ran over there, pop, he got knocked back on the ground. Don't be starting no fights with no gay dudes, man. Don't be starting no fights with no goddamn gay dudes, because you think they can't goddamn fight. What the fuck is wrong with you? If you look at that dude, he's gay, he effeminate, but if you look at him, the dude is about 6'2", about 200 pounds. He thin, but he ain't got no weird ass build. Like he built like a woman and all kind of, they got those. And he ain't dressed like, he ain't out there with pink pants and no shit on. He got basketball shorts on and a fucking t-shirt. It's right over there. Boop, ah. He laid on the goddamn ground. Nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you? Leave that man alone. But you know what? He had it coming. Because he started that fight. He started the fight with that gay dude, and that gay dude put him on the ground, and he got back up and went right to back over there after the shit could have been over with. It got put back on the ground goddamn again. He got pushed to the ground at first. He got taken down to the ground. Bam. The first time. Which should have got you, because that was a move where a motherfucker know what he doing. He had his hand up on his little area right here. He put his foot behind one leg and used his leverage and went wham, threw him on the ground. Dude laying on the ground like, and he just standing straight up. Now, if a motherfucker do you like that, okay, leave him a goddamn alone. Unless you get up and you got some shit to go back with. Oh, no. And the women is the same way. It was a woman on that video was up in this dude's face, yapping his shit like Chloe. They was in a store. They was in a fucking store. And she was up in his face talking shit like Chloe be up in motherfuckers talking shit. And except for this woman was a butch dyke. A fat butch dyke. So she actually thought she was a fucking dude. And that dude hauled off and hit that woman and fucked her face up. That woman got off the. That woman, she laid on the floor like a beach goddamn well, like them whales in Life is Strange laid up on the bitch. That's how that fat ass bitch was laid up on the goddamn ground, and she got up off the ground with her face like, and everybody was like, oh shit, he fucked her face off with one goddamn punch, and she started that shit. She was up in this man's face like this. She was like, no, nigga, and that dude was like, what? And he talked shit to her while she was on the ground, and then, you know, that bitch got up and was walking sideways and all kind of shit. That was a reaction. That was a reaction. That's what I'm talking about. He didn't plan on that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't plan on that. He didn't want to do it. The man restrained himself for quite some time. Now, when you yapping off at a motherfucker like Chloe does, and they double down on this shit, and they double down on this shit in Before the Storm. Her whole gimmick is back talking shit. The same thing they got her smacked in the first goddamn game. The thing they got her smacked in the first thing, that's her gimmick, how she get by and get shit done in the second game. And Before the Storm. Explain that to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I want to watch the rest of Before the Storm, because I remember watching. I've watched the whole thing before. And only thing that I know is that the most interesting part of that shit is Rachel. Rachel's the most interesting part of that game. And even through that game, I'm just like, okay, she ran across Rachel. And once you get through it, you be like, that's the last person that Chloe needed to run across. Because she's worse than Chloe. You know what I'm saying? She's worse than Chloe. And they're both about the same. See, Chloe is supposed to fucking die. She's a tragic character. She's supposed to fucking die. You know what I'm saying? Chloe, even in Before the Storm, all the way through Life is Strange, is just a big, long-ass list of bad decisions. Bad decisions. That's all she is. It's a big, long-ass list of bad decisions. Everything she do leads to a fuck-up. You know, because she's supposed to die. She's not supposed to be here. After she got shot, and even in, because Before the Storm, which I don't want to watch this chick play the rest of this game. She irritates the fuck out of me. But, you know, that a lot of that is more of a look into, so you can see who the fuck Rachel Amber is. And you get to see Rachel Amber, and you could be like, okay, this is a broad that can just, her manipulation game is on point. She can get you to do whatever the fuck she want. She can just do that. She can just Jedi mind trick you into just doing whatever the fuck she wants you to do. She's that type of person. You know what I'm saying? She want to be your friend. You gonna be your friend. That's what happened to fucking Chloe. But that was not the type of person that Chloe needed to be hitched to. It's unfortunate what happened to her, because I don't think that was her fault. No, actually, it wasn't her fault. But you get to see who it is. But even Rachel Amber is a bit reckless. You know what I'm saying? Even she's a bit reckless. And you had that mixed up with Chloe, nothing. Just think about how the first game started with Chloe. First time you see her, she walks into this fucking restroom. I guess she was on campus following fucking Nathan around. She walk up in there trying to extort money from him. Nobody ever brings that up. They just bring up the fact that she got shot. That's you know what I'm saying? That's what you get out of that. But nobody brings up the fact that she came in trying to extort money from them. It don't matter that this dude is a butthole. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just straight up, he just bad. But Chloe came in there trying to extort money out this dude. And ended up getting shot. And also what people don't bring up is that shot wasn't on purpose. He pulled out that gun to intimidate her. You know what I'm saying? He brought out that gun to intimidate her. That, at least that's in my goddamn opinion. You don't see his reaction to that until the end of the goddamn game. You know, if you pick to sacrifice Chloe and you gotta let that whole thing play out, you get to see his reaction to her getting shot. He went and checked on her twice after that gun went off. That's not something you do when you shoot somebody on purpose. Just, you know, you watch it. He's distraught that he shot that girl. He's pacing back and forth in that goddamn bathroom, and he went and tapped the body a couple times during that scene. So, yeah. Don't nobody ever bring that up, though. Nobody brings that up. But that's where Chloe comes in. She comes in doing some stupid shit, gets herself shot, and continues to do that throughout the goddamn game, and even continues and even pushes Max through some shit despite signs that her using her powers frivolously or too much has with that goddamn consequences. You know, she get the nosebleeds that she saw a couple times. Nah, let's go do this. Let's go do just, and I'm just like, this is the person that y'all latch yourself onto. Like, really? This is the person y'all latch yourself onto. At the end of the game, when you got to sacrifice Chloe or Arcadia Bay, I don't see where the goddamn the fucking what's his name is the I don't see the choice. I don't see the choice. And a lot of times, you know, even the chick I'm talking about, you know, they're playing this game, and she ain't the only one that pissed me off, so it ain't just her. Was thinking it's just like, okay, if I gotta sacrifice Chloe, it save Arcadia Bay, but if I choose to take out Arcadia Bay, then there's other people in Arcadia Bay. You get this big, I don't know what kind of goddamn tornado that is. That I ain't never seen a tornado like that, you know, on TV, you know what I'm saying? Because I live down here in Houston, Texas. We get tornadoes a little bit north of us. And actually, we got a tornado here last year that put a fucking tree on top of my house. But it's like you know, it wasn't no big pick your car up and throw it across town kind of goddamn shit. That shit, I don't know what kind of goddamn tornado that is. That go over the town, ain't nobody surviving. Just not. It just is not fucking happening. If that thing hit land right where Arcadia Bay is, it shouldn't be nothing left. It shouldn't be nothing left. Just, you know, but this is a video game, you know, it ain't realistic and all this other shit. It's but it's people there. You're gonna choose to save this one person, which I say, the character, now the person playing the game and Max are two different things. Max in the game is an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Maxine Caulfield in the game is an idiot. Now, you as the player can make smart choices. But Maxine is a fucking idiot. Just go through the game. Listen to shit. Get her little personal reasoning on shit. Not the shit you choose, but you get her thoughts on a bunch of shit. She's a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? Chloe is stupid and Maxine is an idiot. Neither one of those people, they both are fucking stupid. They are. You know. Now through gameplay, you can override a bunch of that shit, but at the end of the day, it's just like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? He said, yeah, really, you finna go along with this. You just going along with this, Maxine. Maxine, the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you going along with this? You, you know, she just got, you just dumb. And it's like, okay, you got to write your characters a certain kind of way, but it's just like, man, come on, y'all can do better than this. Y'all can do better than this. Maxine is a fucking retard. She just is. Chloe is a fucking idiot, and she's just, to me, just unlikable. She just is. And if you play the fucking Before the Storm, it doubles down on all of that. It say, okay, this is a bitch, unlikable character. Unless you like unlikable bitches. This is who she is. You know what I'm saying? That's who she is. Even in Life is Strange 2, when you go back and you keep her dad from dying, she end up paralyzed because instead of her dad getting an accident and dying, she ends up in an auto accident and ended up paralyzed. And you end up going back into that timeline because you was trying to fix shit. Fucking moron. And whatever happens in that shit happens. And Chloe wants you to give her an overdose on morphine so she can die because it's stressful on her family and she's going to die anyway. You know what I'm saying? She said it's inevitable. You just go ahead and get this shit out of the way, goddamn. And when you decide not to do it, Chloe comes out. You know what I'm saying? That Chloe comes out. You're like, oh, there go to Chloe, right there. You didn't see it this whole part of this episode, but there go right at the fucking end when you decide not to do what the fuck she want. And there go to Chloe right there. It's always in there. That's an immutable part of her goddamn personality. You know what I'm saying? If everything ain't all good, that's the part of the personality you get. It's there. That's in her character. Now, I've come to the fact that it just people play these games and I don't know. Like I said, I don't trust people when they play these goddamn games. The shit that they do in these games will make me not trust you in real life. I'm sorry. If that's your goddamn decision, the shit that you do in video games and stuff, the choices that you make in video games and things that you do in video games, it's just a little microcosm of stuff that you would do in real life if you could. I watch enough of these video games to know, okay, and while it might not be instant, it might only take for one time for shit to happen. Not to be too grim about this shit, but if you had to shoot somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like for real, if you had to shoot somebody the first time, you would probably be, it'd probably fuck you up. A situation come up again, yeah, it wouldn't be as hard. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, nah. It wouldn't be as hard. It's like that with these people. You make these decisions in the game. It's easy because you're on a video game. Ain't no consequence to this shit. But let shit be, let the real world be like this. Where motherfuckers can just do shit and the consequences might not be. This should be Grand Theft Auto Planet Earth. Just all fucking day long. That's why we have laws and shit like that. That's why. Man, look. That's why we had. That's why society is set up like that. It ain't no lawless place nowhere. Nowhere. Because everybody know you just can't let people run. Even if it's some shit that you think is criminal or lawless, like North Korea or some shit. North Korea's had laws. You just can't let motherfuckers run across. Run rampant. You know what I'm saying? You just fucking can't. And you need laws everywhere. You need consequences everywhere. Because people in general will do whatever the fuck they can get away with. If they can get away with it, they will do it. If they think they will get away with it, they will attempt it. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck happens. That's the world we live in. That's why nobody drives the fucking speed limit. At least around here in these parts, because, we have for some reason here in Houston, we got a shortage of goddamn police officers. So it ain't no traffic officers out there like it used to be. I'm tell you that right now. Some motherfuckers, I live right here on the goddamn freeway. I'm looking at the goddamn highway right now. Well, there ain't no stupid shit going on. I can hear plenty of stupid shit when it happens. I can hear a motherfucker driving some vehicle that shouldn't be on the goddamn road. If I can hear your shit in my house with my goddamn doors closed, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's something about that vehicle that ain't supposed to be on the goddamn road. If I hear motorcycles passing by here, yeah, they not going fucking 60 miles an hour. Them motherfuckers passing by this bitch going 90, 100 miles an hour. I hear cars and trucks and shit going 90, 100 miles an hour up the goddamn highway. You know why? Because there's no consequence. There's no law right here. There's no law right here. I used to sit right here and watch people get pulled over every goddamn day right here in front of where the fuck I live on the goddamn highway. Speed your ass down this straightaway. By the time you get to the middle of that straightaway, you're going to see a speed trap sitting right the fuck there that you didn't see coming around that first curb. And that's your ass. That's the consequence. Next time you come down that motherfucker, you will be going 65 miles an hour. You will. So, yeah, no goddamn consequence. Watching these people play these goddamn games, it just make me not trust people, because people do all kind of stupid ass shit. I'm like, yeah, you would do that in real life if you could. Don't. You ain't gonna pull that shit over on fucking me. Nah, in real life, I wouldn't do this. The fuck you wouldn't. Real life, you would if you can get fucking, if you can get by with it. Anyway, I don't like Chloe. All of that to say, I don't fucking like Chloe. Chloe is an irritating ass character to me, and the people that play these games that are on her side, that team up with Chloe for whatever reason, irritate me even more. Even more, they irritate me even more, because I don't get you. You know what I'm saying? I watched these games for the content creator. I've seen an unhealthy amount of these goddamn gameplays at this point. At this point, I just finished watching Life is Strange, the original one. I just finished watching it 2 weeks ago. I just finished watching another one. It was a dude playing that one though. The whole tone was different. Which is something else that I probably I don't know. You watch dudes play the game, you watch women play the game. And then you got this. You watch white dudes play the game, you watch black people play the game. Then you got this. You got Americans playing the game along in that other little mix that I just mentioned. And then you got I don't know what to call it, the international crowd. You know what I'm saying? Because I've watched Let's Plays from all these games from people all over let's say, the EU and UK. Dutch, Sweden, Ireland, 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 England. It just all over there. And I'm sorry, if I watch a European person or somebody else play this game from over on the other side of the goddamn Atlantic, their gameplays are a lot more mature than the American shits. They just are. You know what I'm saying? I don't get a whole lot of stupid shit from over there, and I watch Americans. It just, and then when I watch black folk play the game, and I don't want to turn this into that, but those be the worst. Those be the worst goddamn gameplays. They just say some shit that's gonna piss everybody off. But I don't know. A lot of times, some of the black folks that I watch play that do Let's Plays and all kind of, it's fucking simple. They either extremely typical of what black people would do, or how you think they would sound, or they gameplays are just horrible. Not quality wise as far as setup and all this other stuff, but just this and this is not all of them. Not all of them. It was two black dudes that I watched play, and it's like, one of them I would keep watching, but I done watched most of his shit, so he ain't got nothing else I want to watch. The same for the other one. The other the other guy, he's like early 20s. He's just loud. Ah! Like, why is that? Why? You know what I'm saying? That reaction is not, and I know people do these videos and they have these reactions so they can get their thumbnails and all kind of shit like that. But it's just no, that the game doesn't warrant that. You know what I'm saying? And my TV and my ears don't warrant that. I'm sitting there, I'm just like, okay, everything, I'm watching the same shit you playing, and whatever just happened on the screen does not require for you to do that. And it's like that with a whole bunch of shit with overreactions, which is something that gets me. You know what I'm saying? That's something that irks the fuck out of me, is overreactions when I watch a lot of these choice-based games. Now, you play something like The Walking Dead, even Life is Strange or some shit like that, not so much the David Cage games. Those games will sit your ass down. You can have your little overreactions and all that, but there's going to be a point in that game where your ass is like, I've seen it. Oh my God. Well, you know, you see a grown ass man sitting there just bawling his goddamn eyes out. Yeah, all that screaming and hollering go right out the fucking window. Which is saying to me, I finished watching the Life is Strange final episode today, just a couple of hours ago, that I've seen plenty of goddamn times. And when Max is sitting there in the bathroom and she has to let Chloe get shot, and oh shit, it's hit me already. It's hit me already. I'm just trying to describe the fucking scene. Like I said, the shit would sit you down. Hold up, give me a minute. Woo! Yeah. When she got to sit there at the end of the bathroom on the other side of the stalls and let Chloe get shot, even though I don't fucking like Chloe and I think that's what should happen. Oh man, when that gun go off, like I said, it's getting me now. After I done seen that shit countless times. Even, you know, I'm just like, Oh man. Oh, that sucks. You know what I'm saying? How many that sucks. Even now, I'm choked up. I'm choked up. I really am. I'm choked up now just trying to describe that little short ass fucking scene. The games will sit your ass down. You know what I'm saying? You in there, you got your theatrics going through all the goddamn shit, and then you get to a point in the game like that where you like, oh. Then motherfuckers be like, man, this shit don't know that. It don't fucking matter. Motherfuckers, I'm crying now. And I'm literally crying now. I just got through drying my goddamn eyes over that little shit. Well, I don't know. I got something wrong with me where I cry over everything. So that's different. If I tried to play one of these goddamn games, my face would just be wet all the goddamn time because I'd cry over every little goddamn thing, whether I care about it or not, which is odd. Yeah, but the overreactions, that shit irritates me too. And that's not what everybody. You don't get a whole lot of that with the European shit. It's just I hadn't personally. I haven't. You know what I'm saying? Because when I see these games, I get to see the thumbnail. And it'll be like, okay, I try to pick women. It's just how I am, or black folks, because don't see a lot of them. So I try to pick that blah blah blah. Try to find somebody that look decent or have a decent setup. And well, you have to just click on shit just to see. You can't really tell from a thumbnail. See what their commentary gonna be like. Get a little preview before you watch the shit, because you don't know how people's commentary is gonna be. Like I said, people's commentary in these goddamn games is what keeps you going through it. You know what I'm saying? If you gotta watch one of these goddamn gameplays and all you getting is a goddamn bunch of, you get their commentary, but sometimes you get too much commentary. Like what I'm just talking about. You get through this shit. Like I said, she'll start talking about shit. She won't fucking let it go. You get through this shit. It's in the fucking story that Rachel Amber was connected with Frank. So first thing she'd do was, well, how old is Rachel? Well, how old is Frank? And then wouldn't let that shit go. It's in the fucking story. Who the fuck cares? You know what I'm saying? At that point in the story, all the characters in the school or whatever, like 18 years old. Frank's supposedly like 28. Gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying? 18 years old, you can do what the fuck you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And then literally, I gotta listen to ew for the rest of the goddamn gameplay every time Frank show up. Creepy, gross, ew. You're not involved in that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're not involved in that. So shut up. You know, I don't know. Maybe I was raised at a different goddamn time. And when it come to shit like that, when it comes to little age different shit, I don't fucking care. It ain't got shit to do with me. You know what I'm saying? I've been a teenager. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've been a teenager. I've been in high school. And this goes for both girls and boys or whatever the fuck you want to call them. There was a lot of shit that if the opportunity came, motherfucker was gonna jump on it. I'm talking about the students itself. Yeah, and it wasn't like, it's just like as a teenage boy, even maybe even going back to junior high school, I don't know. Everybody can say it's always that faculty, somebody in the faculty at your school or whatever the fuck, or somebody's mom, that if the opportunity came, whether you knew how or what the fuck you was doing, you wouldn't have passed that up. I'm pretty sure 100% of motherfuckers, no, not 100%, but I'm pretty sure At least 90% of motherfuckers would agree with that. That it was at least one person on the faculty at your school or somebody's mom that you saw or something like that, that they could get it. Even if I didn't know how to give it. You know what I'm saying? And on the flip side of that, like I say, I was a teenager. Girls wasn't no goddamn different. They just wasn't. And I knew of some shit that went on similar to that. And it wasn't like, the older party was the aggressor in that situation. Let me just put it like that. So, nah. And that was when I was a goddamn teenager. And if you look at the news over the last however many goddamn years, when you see shit like that pop up, at least what I've seen in the news, when shit like that pop up, it's always a female teacher and a male student. When shit like that, I guess they put that shit up as the headlines because it seems like, okay, that's the fucking, that's the headline. People gonna look at that and be like, oh, ooh. No, it's not abnormal. It's not. I'm in the ninth goddamn grade. I'm fucking however the fuck old I am in the ninth grade, 14, 15, however the fuck I was. I had a goddamn teacher, English teacher, whatever the fuck, that was like 26 years old. That woman could get every little bit of what I didn't have. I'm sorry. She just could. I'm sorry. Just, no. She could. She could. Just, yeah, whatever. It's just whatever. And you know what? At the school I went to, I'm pretty sure she done had to dust off some motherfuckers. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I was a freshman. I'm pretty sure there was some juniors and seniors that she had to, elbow off like, nah, bruh. Nah, nope. Nah. Because she was a former student at that goddamn school. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, looking like she looked at that goddamn school, she looked like a goddamn student. An old student, but nevertheless a student. Back in my day, that's how we looked. I was 6'3", 250 pounds in the ninth goddamn grade. So, and everybody else around my age was, strangely enough, adult size like that. So, you run across a teacher like that, you can't really goddamn tell all that goddamn much. They didn't make, the kids, I don't know what they started putting in the food or whatever fuck, I don't know. I don't know. After a couple of years after me, kids my age or whatever, they shrunk about six inches. They did. If you look at our varsity football team at my high school, and then you look at the varsity football team from like 2 years later, it's like half the size. Like literally, like half the size. It didn't make no fucking sense. So yeah. That type of shit happened. I don't care. It's a video game. It's not fucking real. And it's always shit in there. And you think the developers put shit like that in the goddamn game on purpose. To kind of stir up shit like this. You do. It's just like, why is it? I mean, it's in there. It's the only instance of anything in there. It's just like, she had that ew factor going on with Jefferson. Even after he curbed Victoria, after Victoria came on to him to try to go to San Francisco, she kind of offered herself up like that, and Jefferson wasn't having that shit. She still had a hard on for fucking over Jefferson, even though Jefferson is the evil guy in this shit. But still, at that point, you wouldn't have fucking known that. It wasn't. They didn't give you any indication that he was, the one that was, fucking doing all this weird ass shit. Little girl came on to him, trying to offer herself up in a sly ass way, and he was like, nah, we ain't even having that. And Like, we ain't having that. And then she was like, yeah, you should have did it sooner. I'm like, he turned the bitch down as soon as she tried to offer herself to him. He should have did it sooner. Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? You can't turn the bitch down before she offers shit to you. I mean, you can. You could preemptively deny somebody, let them know, hey, you ain't getting nothing here, so don't even ask. Or some shit like that. But yeah, I mean, as soon as she came up here with that bullshit and then tried to extort him a little bit on this other side, he was like, yeah, we just gonna ignore that little threat that you tried to get. You better move on. You should have dated sooner. Like, bitch. And then she kind of admitted to being a feminist because she said something about David calling somebody a feminist. Oh, that's when David came down, when they was having breakfast. I think that was the second time they was at Chloe's house, and Max came down in Rachel's clothes. Just so y'all know when this was. And then they had the whole thing going. And then when David finally came down, and then it kind of came around to, they had a confrontation over some other shit that was going on in the game. And then Chloe, her mom, and Max was all arguing at David. And he was like, see, that's what y'all women do. Y'all team up on people, blah, blah, blah. And then she said, you know, what, you call us a feminazi? That man said that's what y'all do. Y'all team up on them. You know what I'm saying? And you pull feminazi out your ass. When ain't nobody said nothing about no feminist nothing. And this other way, I am kind of a feminist. No goddamn shit. Something I did not need to know about you. But that explains a lot about the way I see you think in this goddamn game. Especially in regards to all the dudes. You know what I'm saying? Every dude got a fucking red flag on him, whether he's done anything or not. Like I said, and I know the shit like that. That came from this chick. That didn't come from everybody I watched the goddamn playthrough on. That come from this one in particular. I was like, okay, I see what her mindset is. That's why when Before the Storm came through and I started watching that shit, she's still on David. She's still on goddamn. She's steady fussing about shit in the first goddamn game, which is technically shit that it hadn't even happened yet. I'm like, goddamn. You know, and David and Chloe are both written as assholes. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't never get resolved. It don't. That shit don't get resolved until the end of the goddamn game. And you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? It gets resolved in essence through mindset. But Chloe ain't around. You know what I'm saying? Chloe's not around. And David won't be around. It ain't until you get someday insight separate of each other of what's going on that they be like, okay, blah, or something like that. But them together, blah, no, you never fucking see that. Never fucking happens. But those characters, they written not to get along with each other. But for you as a character to have a personal grudge against this motherfucker, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I don't like Chloe, but I don't got a real world grudge against her. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I don't like the character. Okay. You know, I go into the next game. Okay, I see what they did. They double down on you. Get to see how she became who she is. With okay, from this point all the way up until Life is Strange start, that's who the fuck she is. She's a bitch. You know what I'm saying? She's a bitch. She's had shit happen to kind of push that shit along because you get to go through this whole Rachel Amber shit, and then Rachel end up disappearing, and you get to see it. But She's a bitch. Justified or not. That's who the fuck she is. Like I said, in the alternate universe, she's a bitch too. When shit don't go her way. Anytime some shit don't go her way, and they say this in the goddamn game, hey, that's what happens. She's not supposed to be here. And I think about that, I'm like, she's not supposed to fucking be here. She's supposed to be fucking dead. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I mean, it's the most tragic character. You know what I'm saying? It is. It's the most tragic goddamn character because you go through all this shit with Chloe, and it's fucked up. Starting from her dad dying, and then Maxine moving, and then her running around with Rachel Amber for however long that shit lasts, until she fucking disappears. And she's going through that shit. Like what 6 months after that shit happened, she ends up getting shot and dying. That was supposed to be it. And then she go through some other shit after that, where she's supposed to have died. You know what I'm saying? All this other shit, which it's kind of causing a whole goddamn problem here with the goddamn universe. Cause hey, Maxine, that bitch ain't supposed to be here. Could you please get rid of her? Please? Because if you don't, we just gonna wipe her and everything else out. Because you tripping. You tripping. She ain't supposed to fucking be here. Until at the end of the game, like when I said, they redeemed her character a little bit, and she's like, you know, I think that I ain't supposed to fucking be here. Because all this shit started happening right when you saved me the first goddamn time. Which is something that's weird about this game. When you actually think about it. I said it earlier that when she goes from place to place, and they mentioned it in the game, towards the end, where she tells Chloe that she says, you have to tell me exact. She told her something, and she's supposed to tell Max the exact same thing, which means that the Max that she talking to is not the same Max that's traveling through time. She's embodying people in that universe at that time. It's just like when she goes back. She's in a 13-year-old goddamn body when she goes back, you know what I'm saying, to try to save Chloe's dad. She's embodying that goddamn person, which is another thing where I'm like, you a moron, because if you go through the dialogue and all that shit, she's just rambling and talking. I'm like, hey, Maxine, they don't know what the fuck you talking about. You talking to them like they know what the fuck that's going on, like they traveling in time. No, you tell her, I'm sorry, I wanted things to be different. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I tried, but the hell, you just rambling. Don't nobody even know what you're talking about. You the one that's hopping through time. You're supposed to know how to, I don't even know, you're supposed to know how to fix your goddamn verbiage to fit where and what you're fucking doing. You can't be talking to people, apologizing for shit, and they don't know what the fuck you talking about. That shit irritates the hell out of me. They did it a couple times. It was like, oh, we're so happy to see you again. Like, what? The fuck you talking about? See me again. Fuck you been. You been right here. What? That type of shit. But that's a writing thing. You can't blame the characters in the goddamn game for that. I mean, I guess you can blame the characters in the game for the writing shit. But I mean, that's just an oversight in my opinion, that they write that shit like that. And I'm just like, why would you write that like that? You can have us say something along those lines without making us seem out of place. But if that's what it was meant to be, the fact that I think that Max is an idiot is true. She is. She's a fucking idiot. But I've come to terms with that You know what I'm saying? And then when you go into the next game, which is not Life is Strange 2, but Double Exposure. Like I said, I have no connection with that goddamn game. This might piss a bunch of you guys off or whatever the fuck. That game is way too inclusive for me. It is. That game is way too inclusive for me. That game, and it's not like I have something against gay people. It's not that I have anything against trans people or bi or any of that shit. But when you stick that shit in stuff just so it can be there, bruh, come on now. And it's obviously that's what it was. It's obviously that's what it was. Now, if you go through all the little shit through Life is Strange 1 and blah, 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 you can play that shit out however you want. Whether you make her try to kiss Chloe or not, or whatever the fuck. A lot of people do that shit as like a little, let me see what happens. But yeah, that leads to a weird ass scene at the end of the goddamn game that I don't think belongs in it. And now when it comes to Life is Strange Double Exposure, that shit start off on some gay shit. Like I said, my verbiage or whatever is gonna piss some people off if you made it this far in the goddamn video. It is what it is. I talk how I talk. And I say shit how I say shit. I'm not for to be trying to search for fucking friendly terms to use for shit. It's just whatever. But it start off on some gay shit. Now, you can go through the game and not engage in none of it. You know what I'm saying? Right at the beginning, the first person they stick in your face is a chick. That stupid chick with that. I'm like, who the fuck poses with a fucking 2 hands on both hips? Stupid. And she keep, and it ain't the fact that she does that, is she constantly does that. Who the fuck is, with your stupid cinnamon roll head, get the fuck out of here. I don't even remember my goddamn name. But almost all games that are role playing does that. You know, you're fucking around with goddamn Dragon Age, and you know it's gay shit that goes on in that, because you could, as whatever character you are, you could choose to romance or blah 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 whatever the fuck. So they try to be inclusive in that area, whatever. A lot of that shit ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You know, the overall part of the game, and I'm like that. It's not that I got anything against any of the alternative lifestyles or whatever. It's just the fact that I don't need to know. And that be like people's main gripe with it. It's just like, I don't care. Now, if you keep putting it in my face, it's going to irritate me, but I don't fucking care. You know what I'm saying? And I watched the game, and you can get through a bunch of the game without a bunch of that shit. Like I say, you can choose to romance people, you know, how you react to their flirts, and not react to their flirts or whatever, because you get, it's that little Asian dude, and it's that chick with the stupid hair and the colorful jacket, whatever the fuck she got on. And then, but you can, you know, it's not mandatory. Now, the only thing that gets me is that I'm sitting here and the bowling alley or whatever club, the fucking turtle, whatever the fuck they in. It's just like, that rainbow flag is almost in every goddamn frame. No matter which angle you looking at somebody from, whatever the fuck it is, a rainbow flag is in the goddamn background. What's your fucking message? You know what I'm saying? I'm blind as shit, and I can see that. I'm like, why is that there? It's obvious that, you know, you can, it's a video game, and the way they make the games these days with all these characters, they give you a choice of who you want to romance and all the other shit to get. At some point, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever. Now, a lot of times they don't give you equal choices. I'm sorry. They just fucking don't. Sometimes, you can choose this person, this woman, or you can choose to romance this dude. You know what I'm saying? You playing with a female character. And the dude character, for whatever reason, just won't be likable at all. But the fucking female character will just be awesome. So I guess y'all want me to choose that. No, I'm not. I like the self-insert, so y'all give me a female character. I don't be wanting to pick the dude. I don't want to romance no dude. I'm sitting there playing the game. What the fuck is wrong with you? I just want to romance nobody. And you can do that. But like I said, it's the environment. You got to just... And you get up here and I'm just like, okay, I'm looking at this goddamn trans character in front of me, which is odd to me. Not that I've seen plenty of trans people in my life at various different stages. I've seen trans people that look mighty goddamn good. I've seen trans people that look fucking awful. And I've seen trans people that done fell off. You know what I'm saying? You see some trans person that for whatever, I don't know, they might not be doing so well, and they starting to, they starting to remasculate. Now I know a trans dude. You know what I'm saying? I only know one. I only know one trans dude. But I've seen plenty of trans women to where it's like shit ain't going so well and they can't maintain themselves. And then you get that weird ass man-woman thing going on. It's involuntary, which is sad. I'm not making fun of that. I make fun of motherfuckers all goddamn day long. If you just full on with it or you just bad at it. Now, if you done fell somewhere in the middle and it's out of your goddamn control where you done feminized all your goddamn features, now, for whatever reason, you can't maintain that shit. Now you start looking like some of those fucking circus folks. The woman with the beard and all kind of shit. It just, I've seen that. I live in the hood. You run across that sometimes where you see a motherfucker and it's unsettling. It's unsettling for me to see it, to start with. I see a goddamn trans guy and I'm just like, if I know, I don't bother people like that. You know what I'm saying? It's different in real life. If you trans, gay, whatever the fuck, in real life, ain't got shit to do with you. You doing whatever it is you do. But in my media, in the shit that I choose to entertain myself with, when that shit is inserted into the goddamn game, when it don't need to fucking be there. Now you can have the goddamn characters and shit to be there, but you have to think about this inclusivity shit. Well, what's the inclusivity rate? When you really think about it, the amount of gay, trans, or whatever the fuck people compared to the total population, it's not half, or 60 or 70 goddamn percent. You know what I'm saying? So, how much of that should be in my media? I play in a goddamn video game, and you starting to stick shit in there. I don't want to just start calling out shit because people will be thinking I'm one way or I'm not. I'm not a bigot. I'm not. I have preferences and I do have shit that I dislike and don't like. And I have natural reactions to shit. Like, I can say right now, I don't like effeminate men. I don't like effeminate men. Effeminate men are weird to me. They just are. And I have a reaction to it. That's not a voluntary thing. That's just, when I see an effeminate man, I'm like, ugh. It's just, ugh. I can't help that. It's just the way the fuck I am. I see an effeminate. That don't mean that I ain't gonna go to that person and be like, you a fucking faggot. No. I see a feminine man, I'm like, ugh. I know that reaction is fucking stupid, but it's the reaction I have. It's like somebody put sushi in my face. You know what I'm saying? Somebody put sushi in my face. That's not. I didn't choose to have that reaction. That's just the reaction I get. I don't like sushi. I don't like effeminate men. Now, over time, that shit goes away. Because I've been, well, I ain't gonna say I've been exposed to a whole bunch, but I've known effeminate men I've seen them for quite a long time. And sometimes, it's just, after a while, you just work with one. You know what I'm saying? My dad was friends with this guy. It was a guy that looked kind of like my dad. My dad's like 6'4", about 300 pounds. It was another guy which weirdly looked like my dad, who was about 6'4", 300 pounds. Big old gay dude. Big pot belly out. It just looked just like my dad. Big old gay dude. I forgot his goddamn name. But I used to see him out and about every once in a while. I go to the little store over there, and like I say, he knew my dad. And he'll see me in the store, he'll be like, "Hey, Jared, how you doing?" But he'll say it like he said. He's a big effeminate dude. So if he said, you know how he sound. I can't do it. And I just like, hey, what's up? Ain't no thing. I've seen that dude since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Every so often. Ain't nobody that was always around, but there's probably somebody that went to school with my dad way back in the day or some shit like that. But yeah, he knew who I was. He'll speak to me and I'd put me in. It ain't like, damn, that nigga said something to me. Nah. So out and about, it's like it doesn't bother me as much. But in my goddamn video games, my movies, my TV shows, and all kind of shit like that, when you start putting that shit in there, it's not in a ratio that I am exposed to that shit in real life. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Now, I just had to delete one of my dating apps because all the matches that I keep getting turn out to be trans dudes. That's fairly common. So that's a whole different story. But yeah. But in my video games, now okay, you got the imagery there. Okay, every time you turn around and they in this goddamn thing and they in this little bar, club, pub thing, and you have two characters having a conversation, and there's always some rainbow flag in the goddamn background. Well, I'm gonna notice that and I'm gonna wonder why it's there. It's gonna be hard for me to fucking ignore. Now, we had a neighborhood here in Houston, Montrose. Montrose is known for the little gay population over there. So much so that they have the crosswalks. Now, I don't know if it's still like that. I hadn't been over there in a while. The crosswalks were painted as rainbows. When you walk across the street and you get that little safety area that you walk in, that shit was painted like a fucking rainbow. You had the little flags in the neighborhoods. They had like some down the streets, and they had little flags or whatever. They might have the neighborhood names on it or some shit like that. The rainbow flags up and down the streets in the damn neighborhood. Now, if I lived in that goddamn neighborhood, I would be quite the fuck upset over that. Because I'm not gay. That shit don't represent me. And it damn sure don't represent the whole goddamn neighborhood. Why is that shit up there? How did the shit even get approved to where you can paint that shit on the fucking streets? You know what I'm saying? That's the level of intrusive inclusivity that I feel in my goddamn video games. Now, my gym used to be over there. Actually, my gym was in Midtown, which is the neighboring neighborhood for Montrose. And it's right at the edge. So it's literally a couple of 100 yards away. Technically, it's in Midtown. Montrose is right here. But, my gym and Montrose is only a couple of 100 yards away from each other. So, at that particular gym, the 24-hour fitness, there's a lot of gay people in there because that was the gym right there. There's a lot of gay people in there. You go in there, you walk in the gym, You get ready to do your little workout on. You sit and you do your little sets on your machine or your bench, whatever, and you sit there and you rest in between sets and you look around. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you ain't used to that, and it's fucked up because even one of somebody I had met online that was trans, one of the cool ones, one of the cool people, couldn't hang out with them because they wanted to do some shit and I wasn't with it, and they did cocaine, so I couldn't really fuck with them like that. I tried. I tried. I said, but whatever. I was like, I can hang out with people and not let their lifestyles and shit interact with how interacting with normal ass people. But certain shit just you can't. You get even though they were high functioning or whatever the fuck, you can't be high functioning living in that neighborhood paying that amount of rent, no matter what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck that job was, and that was a passable one. But like I said, I couldn't fuck around because that particular person wants to send you naked pictures and shit like that, and I don't know. I'm sorry. I tried to be friends, but obviously that shit wouldn't fucking happen. But they end up going to that gym. Now, they were never there at the same time I was because we worked out at different times. But yeah, it's just like, okay. That gym had a lot of that going on in it. To the point to where you'd find douche bottles on the fucking floor. You find douche bottles on the floor at the goddamn, in the showers. You go work out and you go to take a shower or some shit because you done went into the pool or whirlpool or some shit like that. And you go to, and it's fucking a used fucking douche bottle on the fucking floor. Well, I mean, if you know, you know. It ain't no reason for. There's only one reason why that would be on the goddamn floor. Somebody planned on having some goddamn fun tonight. But why you gotta leave that on the goddamn floor, son? You know what I'm saying? It's a trash can somewhere up in here. You could find a way to dump that shit off in there. Now I'm just like somebody done just irrigated their whole bowel inside of this shower. I'm never walking in that shower again. I come back in this. Not even with goddamn shower shoes on. Nope, I'm never walking in this fucking shower again. Motherfuckers is in here irrigating their bowels all over the goddamn floor. Just, but that's a whole different situation. But yeah, it's just, I've been surrounded by that. You move the fuck on. Like I said, inside my media, I don't want to see it. Or at least in the ratio that I'm seeing it now. Because it's not not in the ratio of what I would see in real goddamn life. If it's in the ratio of what I see in real goddamn life, you wouldn't never hardly goddamn see it. But motherfuckers fight for this inclusivity shit so goddamn much where motherfuckers got to be represented and all this other stuff when you only the tiniest percent of the goddamn population. Well, I mean, this much of the population, you don't deserve this much goddamn representation. When this much of the goddamn population don't give no fucks about you to start with. Now, this ain't got nothing to do with rights and shit like that. That's a whole nother goddamn thing. That's not what the fuck I'm getting at here. You just can't treat people how the fuck you want to treat them. But the representation thing is, now is everybody, you got to stick a gay person or a trans person. You got to have at least one of them motherfuckers in there for whatever the goddamn reason is. For just, no, you don't. You don't have to. You know what I'm saying? You watch a show, it's always a gay motherfucker in the show. He just there. You know what I'm saying? Just there. Why? No reason. He's just there, being gay or being effeminate. You know what I'm saying? Or you got to throw a lesbian in there. It's just like this shit here. Like I said, they start this shit off Life is Strange on some gay shit. They didn't do this in The Walking Dead. In The Walking Dead, they got gay characters in The Walking Dead. Don't trip that shit out. But they didn't start that other shit until the final season. Now in the final season, because the main character was not old enough for you to be doing that shit in the other games. It just wasn't. Unless you're talking about the Final Frontier. The New Frontier, where you had Javi. It wasn't no, you had one romantic option in that game. And that was, I can't even, Kate. I think her name was Kate. That was it. Now you could choose, it was another one in there, but I don't think that could actually go anywhere. It might can, I'm not sure. That Asian chick that you meet in Prescott, because she starts showing interest in you early. But I'm not sure how far that can actually go. But Kate is on your ass from start to goddamn finish, damn near. And you have to choose, you have to kind of figure out how you gonna work that shit all through the game until, because she's your fucking sister-in-law. She's your fucking sister-in-law. But at this point, we in the apocalypse. How much of that shit matter until you run across David again, who is actually a cousin and your fucking brother? Because y'all got separated right when this shit started. Y'all didn't even know each other was a goddamn live. But she don't like David. She like you. Now you have to try to deal with that shit because you like, okay, David is here. And blah, 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 blah. But that's the only option you get. It ain't no gay shit in the New Frontier. Now, when you get into The Walking Dead, the final season, where you back as Clementine, but as a 17-year-old or 18-year-old, however the fuck old she is in there. Now they threw that romantic option shit in there. Now they give you two options from this gay chick, Violet or whatever her name is, and I can't even think of the black dude who was fucking irritating as fuck. Him, Mr. Can't shut the fuck up. And you could choose between those two. Who you gonna choose? The emo Violet, or you gonna choose the irritating ass black guy that can't shut the fuck up as a romantic counterpart? You can choose one or the other, or you can go eat neither way. But that's not my issue. The issue is after that, because you know the story moves on after the game into comics and shit like that and books and whatnot. And what do? They give her a girlfriend, they turn her into a lesbian. They couldn't wait for her to grow the fuck up and then turn her into a lesbian. Why? You know, just why? Now, I don't partake in that media. So all the media that I would partake in when it comes to The Walking Dead is, at least the games, is from there to there. Doesn't fucking matter. You can go either way. That's on your particular gameplay. But after that, the shit that they come up with, whoever the fuck came up with it, is, you know, that's the first thing they did. They gave her a fucking girlfriend. They didn't give her a boyfriend, a husband, and no shit like that. They gave her a fucking girlfriend. Out of all the choices, you know what I'm saying? Out of all the choices that you could have made, why was that the choice? Why? Answer me that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's because of inclusivity shit. You just have to, for whatever reason. It's just like when I first started playing these games, Life is Strange and all the other games that actually, mostly the Life is Strange games and mostly women is the playthroughs that I was catching. They all chose the gay shit. They all chose it, except for in not except for in Life is Strange 2. Ain't nobody picking to go with Finn. I'm sorry. That's just ain't nobody picking that. That game don't even give off them type of vibes. You know what I'm saying? To where if it's fucked up because even if you go through the little shits and you have to pick between I can't even think of that chick name and Finn. You know how I said everybody goes through the game and picks different shit. So all the choices be split down the goddamn middle because everybody that went through and played the game multiple times. Yeah, even then, that shit is still lopsided. Ain't nobody picking Finn. And it's just like, even it's just like what? Even playing the game, it's like why would you pick that? You know what I'm saying? There's nothing in the game that indicates that Sean, I don't even know if that's his fucking name now that I'm thinking about it. I can't think his goddamn name. Either way, if that dude would be interested in a goddamn dude, he start off the game at the very beginning, getting hooked up with a chick to go to a party. So if you playing the game and the game ain't got nothing to do with no romantic nothing and blah 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 until you run across these people in the goddamn woods later on, to indicate that this fucking literal 16-year-old wants to sleep with this goddamn dude. Why? Again, why? Why is that option even there? At least in Life is Strange 2, you get to see some titties. I'm just saying. And then you get to see some titties. I think you get to look at Sean's butt, but I don't want to see that. But none of the shit is gratuitous. Once you get past that, it's on to other shit in their adventure. Even in Life is Strange True Colors, which is, I like True Colors. A lot of people didn't like True Colors. I like True Colors. You get to pick between that little ranger dude and the lesbian chick. And I think that's pretty, it's a pretty even choice. You know what I'm saying? It is. I think you have more to do with the lesbian chick. I think you have more to do with her than you do with the ranger guy that you can choose. And I think the lesbian chick has more personality. You know what I'm saying? And I think they did that on purpose. So you would pick the lesbian chick because the lesbian chick has a whole spin-off game to her goddamn self after that. The ranger dude doesn't. He doesn't. He don't have a whole spin-off game to himself after that. Like Chloe has the spin-off game. What's his name? Whatever the fuck. Before the Storm. The lesbian chick in there has a whole spin-off game to herself that I can't think of the fucking name of, that I never fucking watched because I have no interest in watching that character at all. I never watched. That's the only Life is Strange that I hadn't watched, was that spin-off from that Life is Strange True Colors. God damn it. Life is Strange True Colors was that. I hadn't watched that. I had no interest in it. I'm just like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I think we supposed to be kind of interested in her because she's from Arcadia Bay, from what I understand. She's from Arcadia Bay, and she's in Colorado, you know, living life. You know, she's kind of a nomad, moving around or whatever the fuck. But I don't know. I mean, I would have to do some kind of research to figure out if she's even in the first game as like a background character or some shit like that. I don't know. But she don't have no powers and nothing like that. She's a fucking DJ. Playing music and selling records and shit. Yeah, but I just like, but she has the personality. And it's like, I don't want to pick her as me playing the game. I don't want to pick her. I don't want to play some lesbian romance. You know what I'm saying? If I got to pick somebody, I want to pick the dude. You know what I'm saying? Which in this game is actually a pretty decent goddamn guy. A lot of times they not. But he's kind of a cardboard personality. Just nah. It's blah. I'm just like ain't much there. Ain't much there. But you got this chick sitting right here. She's nice. No. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to have a goddamn lesbian romance and shit. But y'all don't have the option. Y'all give me some dry ass dude. He's nice. He's a dry ass dude. You know what I'm saying? No. See, that type of shit irritates the fuck out of me. It's probably not supposed to, but it does. You know what I'm saying? When I play these games, because it's so obvious to me. When I look at it, that they okay, we gonna shoehorn you into this gay shit. Like I said, I'm not finna try to figure out nice ways to say this. You know, we gonna shove you into this gay shit over here. No, stop it. Stop it. And just, you know, you can play the game how you want. It's whatever. Like I said, Life is Strange 1, you can choose the gay shit. It's not overtly obvious in Life is Strange, the original. It's not until the last scene when you choose to sacrifice Chloe. When you choose to sacrifice Chloe, you know what I'm saying, and you get that long ass fucking kiss between them. I think if you chose to, when you could try to kind of kiss Chloe as a joke when you at her house, you know, I think if you choose that or whatever, then at the end, you get that long ass kiss between them, which is out the fucking blue. It really is. It's out the fucking blue. You're sitting there watching that shit. You got to sacrifice her. So you get this long ass, just like. That just seems just inserted in there for shock value. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no indication of any romantic anything between those two. It's not. It's, in the old game, there's no romantic nothing. Unless you count that little kiss that didn't even fucking happen, tell you the truth. Because Max went in for the goddamn kiss because she was kind of dared to do it. And Chloe backed the fuck off. Like, oh shit, I didn't think he was going to do that. You know, just, yeah. So, now the shit between Chloe and Rachel, I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I'm in the middle of watching a playthrough of Before the Storm that I may or may not finish watching because the content creator that I'm watching is very, 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 very irritating with her commentary. Like I say, she's a feminist, and I'm not sure how many men we got to deal with in the rest of this goddamn shit. If we don't have to deal with a lot of more men in the rest of this playthrough, it might be a little bit decent. But David is probably going to be involved, and like I already spoke on that. She not going to let that go. She going to be talking about shit from the first goddamn game the whole goddamn time. And it's fucking irritating. I want to finish watching it because I want to kind of get refreshed on Rachel Amber and Chloe's relationship as friends. I can remember a lot of shit that happens but not the fucking details. And even though I know Rachel ends up kind of dating Frank, I know Chloe wasn't abreast to that. So, and she felt betrayed when she actually found that shit out in Life is Strange. So I want to see that build up of how much of a romantic tension they put on that between those two. Whether it was one-sided, I seriously doubt it was two-sided. I'm thinking that Chloe was drinking the Rachel Amber juice and got caught up in it while Rachel Amber was doing Rachel Amber. Because I do remember that about the first show that, oh, god damn it, Rachel Amber is the, she's not a moon. You know what I'm saying? She's not a moon. She's the actual planetary body that everything rotates around. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna see about that. I don't want to. I don't know. I kind of want to. I don't know. I want to watch Before the Storm, but I'm thinking I might have to click off of this one and watch somebody else's playthrough. But like I said, Chloe is not a very likable character. And most people that I watch, they are aware of Before the Storm, and they will skip over that and go straight to Life is Strange 2. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, nah, I don't want to play that. And go right to Life is Strange 2 and play that, and then play 3, and then Double Exposure. It just, you know, they would just skip right over that because they don't. A lot of people in my camp where they just don't like Chloe's character. She's not a likable character. She's not. To me, she's not. Life is Strange 2 doesn't have those problems. Life is Strange 3 doesn't have those problems. I don't think they have a polarizing character in them to where you just like, I can't stand that motherfucker. Now, Life is Strange 2 got characters in there you can't stand, but they're just, they're in there and then they're gone. They're not ongoing characters throughout the whole goddamn story. Between Daniel and Sean, or whatever, I don't know, is his name Sean? Now, Daniel got his moments where I'm just like, man, but you can't really, you can't backhand fucking Daniel. I'm just sorry. Now, this is the point. I got the shit in that last choice in Life is Strange. Bay or Bay. Y'all know Bay or Bay. That's the shit to where I'm gonna like you or not. You know what I'm saying? Whether your original choice, your original mindset was to sacrifice Chloe or Arcadia Bay. Now, in Life is Strange 2, to a lesser extent, is when that cougar kills Mushroom. And Daniel has his powers, you know, his telekinesis. He finds the cougar that killed the dog. He's upset. So he has the fucking cougar suspended up in the air. You know what I'm saying? And you give him the choice to kill or spare the cougar. Kill the cougar, spare the cougar. Now, I will tell you this right now. If you choose to kill the cougar, I'm probably gonna not like you. Now the rest of your gameplay might not make no difference because the rest of the gameplay ain't got shit to do with that. You know, it don't have any relative choices along the way like that. Now you could tell Daniel to do certain shit or whatever the fuck, but in that case, whether you kill or spare the cougar, if you kill the cougar, I'm probably not gonna like you as a person. You know what I'm saying? I won't. I probably won't stop watching the playthrough because that shit happens right in the goddamn middle. That's a lot of time to goddamn waste. That's hours wasted if I just don't watch the playthrough. But I won't like you as a person. You can't explain that off. You can't explain it off. The cougar killed my fucking dog. You living out in the goddamn wilderness with mountain lions and shit out there. Your dog get loose, runs off in the fucking woods, and gets killed by a predator, which is out there doing what predators do. The cat didn't come up to the cabin where y'all was living and invade y'all little space and took y'all dog. No, the dog was out. You know what I'm saying? The dog had wandered out into the woods and got killed. The cougar didn't do anything outside of its nature. You know what I'm saying? That's what a cougar does. A cougar hunts so it can fucking eat. The cougar hunts so it can fucking eat. The dog got caught out there. Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? That's y'all dog. Y'all named it and trained it and cohabitated with it and all this other stuff. But the fact of the matter is, shit happens. It ain't the cougar fault. You know what I'm saying? That y'all let the dog wander out into the woods. The cougar out there doing what it does. The cougar was doing that before y'all got out there. So if you choose to kill the cougar and not spare it, because if you spare the cougar, first of all, you got that motherfucker suspended up in midair, and, you know, in this little telekinesis field, and if you spare it, you let the cougar go. The cougar like fuck, it runs the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? He don't even take the goddamn dog. He like shit, fuck, I'm out of here. But if you kill him, it fucks it, bends, twists the goddamn thing up in all kind of different ways, and I'm just like, really. Really, that's what you're gonna do to the dog. And you know what? I say that, but most people not gonna pick that. You know what I'm saying? That's an adult situation. Like, okay, am I gonna save this one person, or I'm gonna kill off a whole fucking town of people? What makes fucking sense? Most people that play these games got cats in their goddamn background and cats crawling on their laps as they playing this game. Hell no, they not finna kill the goddamn cougar. They not. I've watched enough gameplays to know this for sure. But I've seen gameplays where motherfuckers kill the goddamn cougar. They like, oops. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that was my dog. Yeah. I don't know. It irritates me. You know, stuff like that, which is way over the goddamn top. Like I said, it's something that irritates me to where I'm just like, it don't make sense that I would think like that, but I do. If you would choose to do that in the goddamn game, you know what I'm saying? And I know there's probably a lot of people out there that would do that in real life. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you lived out in the goddamn woods and you had an animal, a dog or some shit, they got killed by another goddamn animal. If you out there like that, you probably used to killing animals and hunting and shit like that. You probably ain't no thing for you to go out there and just kill another goddamn animal for that. But a cougar? Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can go. I guess there's people out there that hunt cougars and shit like that. But still, a normal person in our current society that most of us live in, you know, If we have a pet, or you had a pet, probably would be like, okay, I understand what went on. It ain't the cougar's fault. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to kill the cougar. I'll spare the cougar. I understand what's going on. If you don't have that goddamn mindset, I will not like you. I will not. That's one of the things I know about my goddamn self, which is not ideal, but I know it about myself. It's just, I would not like you. I would not like you after that. I would have to just totally forget about that. If you chose to kill that goddamn cougar and go on with the rest of the goddamn game, especially if you sit there and try to justify the shit, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Just play the goddamn game. You know what I'm saying? You done got all the watch time you gonna get out of me. I will not be liking and subscribing. I'm sorry. It's not for fucking happening. But these games get me, man. Life is Strange the most. Because a lot of times it seems more binary than others. Other than 2. 2 has a lot of goddamn endings. So I don't have a lot of issues with that. 3, I'm not sure how many endings that one has. So a lot of the choice making in that is just, I don't know. The thing about 3 to me is the setting. I think I like the main character, but the setting of that game I'm just like, I want to live there. It's just right off the top, I want to live there. I want to live there. That's where I want to live. Fuck this. I don't want to be where I'm at no more. This is where the fuck I want to live. It's I'm sorry. Life is Strange 3, that scenery. You know what I'm saying? That setting. That's where the fuck I want to live. It looks awesome. You know what I'm saying? As long as they got good internet, it looks awesome. And I can get my packages on time when I order from Amazon Prime and shit. But other than that, yeah, this shit is awesome. I like it. I don't remember having no weird ass decision making quarrels about that goddamn game. I don't think it's that goddamn complicated. 4, not 4, but Double Exposure. Other than all the gay shit and alternative lifestyle shit that's into the goddamn game, the story itself is weird as hell. With the dimensional shifting and all this other shit, that's just like, goddamn. And the other stuff, the fact that that game ended on a cliffhanger, I guess you can call it a cliffhanger. It ended on a cliffhanger, so you know there's something else coming after that. I'm just hoping that it is away from whatever the fuck is going on. It's just, okay. Obviously, they going to have some other shit with some people with some more powers, which everybody was complaining about. And Marvel. Everybody want to pull Marvel out their fucking ass. Everybody, when I first started watching the little reactions to the goddamn Double Exposure, man, they for to bring all these other people with powers in, and they just for to try to do another. They just gonna try to do what Marvel does and have this, it's your fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? What's the fucking problem? They for to try to unite some goddamn shit. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they're gonna plan on doing that, but obviously they got something in the works where whatever that chick is, Sophie, is out there trying to find other people with powers or some shit or whatever the fuck is going on. I don't know. But what's your fucking issue? You want everything to remain an anthology like it's kind of been at first. You know what I'm saying? You want everything to remain some kind of as an anthology at first, but you was down with having this game continue on from the last one. Which one is it? You want all of them to be separate, you know what I'm saying? Which they really haven't. Every game has a character in it from another. They just do. You know what I'm saying? David is in Life is Strange 2 in the last episode. David is in there. And he mentions Arcadia Bay and Chloe and all that other shit. So he's in Life is Strange 2. Life is Strange 3 has that gay DJ chick who is apparently from Arcadia Bay. If you do some research, you could probably find her in the game somewhere. So there's that. So there's connection there. So the games are already been connected. Now, as far as it depending on what the hell, how they try to make, I don't see them. Now, if you just go from, I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, they could put all these goddamn games together depending on which endings in Life is Strange 2 that they choose as canon. Because Daniel is still, now, whichever one you pick, well, I can't say that, you know what I'm saying? But I know a couple of ones that you pick, Daniel is still around. I'm not sure about the timing, though. I don't know how old he would be. Because they show some shit as them, you know, is current year. And then other shit is like, what, 10, 12, however many goddamn years later? So I don't know how the timeline works with Life is Strange 2 if you try to incorporate Daniel into whatever they doing now. You know what I'm saying? Because they would probably have to de-age him, because a lot of the endings show them way off in the future as adults, young adults. You know, maybe 10, 15 years or some shit like that. But but either way, Daniel is still around. They could probably find a way to finagle that shit some kind of goddamn way. And I can't remember the name of the chick in Life is Strange 3, but yeah, I mean, she's still around. She didn't die, no shit like that. She's moving. I think she could either stayed in Colorado, wherever she was. I forget the name of the place, or she could move to here, there, whatever the fuck. So it's always, you know, there's ways to include these characters that we already have. You know, so there's ways to get that shit together. They already have these properties. So why not put them the fucking together? Some kind of goddamn way. It might not be no Avengers team or whatever, but it might be some shit going on in different places where each one uses their ability to get whatever accomplished that they need to accomplish for the greater goal of whatever the fuck is going on. It might take a game. It might take a couple of games. I don't think you're going to have a game where just all of them in one goddamn spot. I don't know how that fucking would work. But you could have an overall boop, boop over here, boop, boop over here. And, you know, all the characters got their little shit going on or whatever that's connected right here. Even though they don't know they get goddamn connected to some shit. They can have all kind of shit going on. But people are opposed to that. You know what I'm saying? Folks that I see that were opposed to that, a lot of people are like, ooh, they gonna do this. But the initial shit that I saw, people were like, man, I don't want, man, why would they do that? Why they just can't just keep, you know, just keep making them, you know, separate or whatever the fuck. Because you already got shit. You know what I'm saying? You already got shit. They can keep coming up with new shit. They got the black girl that's at the end that's supposed to have some goddamn power. You don't know what power she got. Only thing you know, she got nosebleeds. And then Sophie come up to her and be like, yeah, I seen no nosebleeds before, blah, 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 blah. So apparently the girl got some goddamn powers, and using nosebleeds like that come when you overuse your powers or some shit like that. And her nose is just fucking bleeding, and she wondering what the fuck is going on. So maybe she's exuding some kind of goddamn power that she don't know she exuding. Exude. And ain't got no, and has no, or maybe she was exuding some shit and she has no control over it. She might have been exuding it, not knowing what the fuck, not knowing that she was. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, but that's something to figure out later. Diamond, that's her name. The black girl is named Diamond. So, yeah, it's something to look forward to. And yeah, all the people that's complaining are going to play the goddamn game anyway. So shut the fuck up. I didn't too much care for this shit with all the goddamn gay representation and all kind of shit like that. I didn't care for the goddamn shit at all. They come up with another one after this. Guess what? Goddamn Let's Plays come out. I bet y'all be watching it. I ain't watch all these goddamn Let's Plays and all these other ones to not watch that shit and keep the goddamn story going. It's just like a Marvel movie come out. What? Fucking what? The next Marvel movie come out is gonna be Fantastic Four. I'm not gonna watch it. I watched Thunderbolts. I watched Captain America. I done seen every piece of shit that came out since the shit started. Why the fuck would I start now? Why would I start not watching now? No, I'm gonna watch. I'm enjoying the shit. I had to watch Double Exposure again to try to get a grasp of the story. And the other shit that was in there kind of still irritated me, but I'm just like, whatever. Let me get this story, see if I could, you know, figure out what's going on. So whenever the next game come out, I could have some kind of goddamn knowledge of, okay, this is where we dropped off. This is where we picking up. Let's do this. Let me watch this person play this game and probably piss me the fuck off. But it's a first playthrough of a new game, so I could choose. You know what I'm saying? I can look up certain people that I know play these games and that I know is not going to make some weird ass choices. Now, when you're doing random Let's Plays, you just don't fucking know. After a while, if you watch enough Let's Play, you know who to fucking watch. When you start watching other Let's Plays, that's when shit start to get to you. So that's about it on that. I done talked for a long ass goddamn time on that shit. I think I done covered everything. I think I have. I'm not 100% sure. I think I have. With the Life is Strange. The old Chloe shit, which I'm 100% sure I've done a video on before. I think that whole Chloe shit that I just spent all that time talking about, I think it's redundant as fuck. I think I've already done that. And a lot of the character shit in this goddamn show. I didn't talk a lot about Life is Strange 2 and 3 because those are, like I say, those are pretty, in my opinion, are pretty straight goddamn forward, even though Life is Strange 2 got all those fucking endings that you can get. But it's pretty straight goddamn forward. It's not a lot of shit in there. There's not a lot of polarizing stuff in it. Same thing with 3. God damn it. Not like it is, at least with 1 with me. You know, 1 with me, I might be in a minority with that because a lot of people, they stuck on 1. The first Life is Strange. They stuck on that shit. They love Max, and when Life is Strange Double Exposure come out, oh, we get to play as Max. I'm just like, Max was a fucking dumbass in Life is Strange 1. What's the fucking attraction? I'm gonna always have it. What's the fucking attraction? It's just she's a fucking dummy and fucking, yeah, she really is. And then in Life is Strange Double Exposure, I'm just like, I've watched 2 Let's Plays of Double Exposure, and I'm tell you right now, I've slept through a bunch of that shit to where, and that don't happen a whole lot. Double Exposure, I've watched 2 Let's Plays, and I've had to wake up and watch and rewind. A lot of times I had to just bloop and go back a whole episode because the shit done played through and went on to the whole next episode. I had to just go all the way back to the previous episode, halfway through that shit, and start my watch back up from there, from the last time I remember being awake, and go through that shit. And even a bunch of that shit I miss. A lot of that stuff don't keep my goddamn attention to where I'm doing other shit while the Let's Play is going on, to where I'm just like, all right, well, I'm going to do this. And the shit is just playing. I go outside, sit on the goddamn porch, come back in. I ain't miss nothing. What the fuck? All of that shit, you know. Double exposure didn't hit me like it hit everybody else. I think most people, well, I think a lot of people enjoyed it. I think a lot of people were disappointed with it. With the cohesiveness of the story, and I couldn't stay engaged long enough to even say if they were wrong or right. And I've sat through goddamn 2 Let's Plays of it, but I do know when I watch reviews of it, it's excitement that Max is back, and then disappointment after 2 episodes. I think most people are disappointed after the second half of the whole thing. I think people be like, it's kind of downhill after that, but it's all the same to me. All I can remember is fucking rainbow flags and shit everywhere. That's all I can snow and rainbow flags. That's all I can fucking remember. All that dimensional shifting and all that shit went right the fuck over my head. It really did. So I will catch y'all on my next ramble.